stop. Before you do anything today, before you respond to that person, before you react to what they said, before you make your next move, watch this video. All of it. Because what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes is the exact thing they don't want you to know. Someone in your life right now, a friend, a coworker, an ex, a family member, a rival, someone is playing a game with you. And here's what's terrifying. They started playing weeks ago. And you don't even know the game has begun. You've been reacting emotionally. You've been explaining yourself. You've been trying to be reasonable. You've been hoping they'll see your side. And every single time you did that, you lost. Not because you're weak, but because you're playing chess while they're playing war. Machiavelli wrote something in The Prince that almost no one teaches. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But what he really meant was this: the world is not kind. The world does not reward the most deserving. The world rewards the most strategic. And today, that person becomes you. Stay until the end of this video, because trick number 10 alone, the final move, is the one move that will make everything they did to you completely irrelevant. Let's begin. Here is the truth about you right now, and I need you to hear it, not as an attack, but as a diagnosis. You are emotionally readable. When someone disrespects you, your face changes. When someone betrays you, your voice tightens. When someone ignores you, you chase. When someone pushes you, you explode. And they see all of it. Every single signal. Every flicker of pain. Every trace of need. You are walking through this world like an open book. And the people who play dirty, they are readers. They study your reactions. They know your triggers. They know exactly how much pressure to apply. They know exactly which word to say, which silence to use, which moment to strike. And you keep asking yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Because you keep showing them where it hurts. That ends today. What you are about to learn are 10 mental tricks, rooted in Machiavellian philosophy, designed not just to protect you, but to reverse the power dynamic entirely. You are not going to get angry. You are not going to seek revenge. You are not going to break down. You are going to become someone they cannot read, someone they cannot control, someone they wish they had never touched. Let's go through them one by one. Trick number 1. Become unreadable. The first and most important weapon you will ever possess is a face that reveals nothing. Right now, your emotions are your enemy. Not because feeling is weak, but because showing what you feel in front of someone who wants to use it against you is the same as handing them a loaded weapon. Machiavelli understood this. Every great strategist in history understood this. Your enemy cannot defeat what they cannot understand. So here is your first assignment. Starting today, you train your face, you train your voice, you train your body language. When they insult you, you don't flinch. When they ignore you, you don't chase. When they test you, you don't react. You become still, like water on a windless night. This is not coldness for the sake of coldness. This is strategic composure. This is control as a weapon. This is the wall they will crash into. Every time. Because here is what happens when you stop reacting. They start guessing. And a person who is guessing is a person who is afraid. Let them guess. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them feel the discomfort of your silence. Your stillness is your first act of dominance. Trick Number 2, let them overplay their hand patience. That is the word that separates the master from the amateur. Every person who plays dirty makes one universal mistake. They get greedy. They push too far. They expose themselves. They reveal their true intentions, and they do it every single time when they think they've already won. Your job is not to stop them. Your job is to let them keep going. When someone plays dirty, resist the urge to confront immediately. Resist the urge to expose them. Resist the urge to defend yourself publicly. Instead, watch. Let them pile up their moves. Let them overextend. Let them believe they have the upper hand. Because a person who thinks they're winning becomes careless. They talk too much. They reveal too much. They trust the wrong people. They make mistakes they cannot take back. And you? You are keeping a mental record? Silent, calm, watching. The spider doesn't chase the fly. The spider builds the web, and then it waits. Your patience is not weakness. Your patience is the trap. Let them overplay. Let them destroy themselves. Your moment will come. And when it does, you will be ready.
Trick number 3, mirror them, then withdraw. You've been trying to be different from them. Better, more honest, more reasonable. Stop. Machiavelli didn't say be good in a corrupt world. He said understand the corrupt world and then move within it strategically. Here is the trick. When someone plays dirty, you don't attack back immediately. You mirror them first. You match their energy. You give them warmth exactly as much as they give you. You give them access exactly as much as they've earned. When they pull back, you pull back. When they come closer, you stay still. When they try to test you, you reflect the test back. This does something deeply psychological. It removes the power imbalance. It signals that you are not a victim. You are a mirror. And mirrors are terrifying because a person who plays dirty doesn't want to see themselves clearly. They rely on you being different, more open, more emotional, more vulnerable. When you become a mirror, they see themselves, and it disturbs them. But here is where the real power comes in. After you've mirrored them long enough, you withdraw. Suddenly, you become less available, less warm, less reactive. You begin to create psychological distance, and now they feel something they didn't expect, loss. Even people who play dirty, especially people who play dirty, fear the feeling of losing something they thought they controlled. The withdrawal creates confusion, it creates longing, it creates psychological debt. They start wondering what changed, they start wondering what they did wrong, they start investing energy into understanding you. Energy they were supposed to use against you. You have just flipped the board. They are now the one chasing, and you are now the one in control. Trick number 4, control the frame. Everything is a frame. A frame is the invisible lens through which a situation is understood. Who has the power? Who is the aggressor? Who is the victim? Who is the one with standards? Whoever controls the frame controls the reality. And right now, they are controlling your frame. They're defining you as weak. They're defining you as overreacting. They're defining you as someone who needs to be managed. And you, by defending yourself, explaining yourself, justifying yourself, you are accepting their frame. That stops today. Here is how you control the frame. You don't argue inside their reality. You don't defend yourself using their rules. Instead, you redefine the situation. When they try to make you look unstable, you respond with quiet calm, because calm is the frame of someone who is in control. When they try to make you look desperate, you respond with indifference, because indifference is the frame of someone who has options. When they try to make you look aggressive, you say nothing. Your silence becomes the frame of someone above the conflict. Frame control is not about words, it's about positioning. It's about how you carry yourself in the room. It's about what you do not say. It's about which battles you choose to enter. The most powerful frame you can own is this: I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Say that to yourself right now, because when you truly believe it, it radiates, and people feel it. And the ones who are trying to diminish you, They suddenly realize their weapons don't work on someone who doesn't need their approval. You are not playing defense anymore. You are defining the battlefield. Trick number 5, weaponized silence. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you said too much? When was the last time you explained yourself and it made things worse? When was the last time you justified your actions and they used it against you? Every word you speak is ammunition they can use. Machiavelli understood that silence is not passivity. Silence is a weapon. The most powerful people in any room speak the least. They do not rush to fill silences with explanation. They do not chase understanding with excessive words. They do not defend every accusation. They sit in silence and let their presence speak. When someone accuses you, silence. When someone tries to provoke you, silence. When someone expects an emotional reaction, silence. This silence is not weakness, it is control. It is the loudest statement you can make. Because here's what happens in the mind of someone who plays dirty. When they expect your explosion and get your silence instead, they panic. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're planning. They don't know if you're angry, indifferent, or 3 steps ahead of them. That uncertainty is your weapon. Silence says, I am not moved by you. I do not need to respond to you. You are not worth my energy. And nothing destroys a manipulator faster
Then the realization that they have become irrelevant to you. Use your silence like a sword. Sharp, deliberate, final. Trick number 6, expose nothing. Observe everything. You have been too open. You share your plans, your feelings, your fears. You tell people what you want. You tell people what hurts you. You tell people what you're working toward, and they use every single piece of it. From this moment forward, you share nothing, not your next move, not your emotional state, not your ambitions, not your insecurities. You become a closed system. Information goes in, nothing comes out. Machiavelli warned, never show the wounds. The moment you reveal where you are weak, you invite attack. While you keep yourself closed, you do the opposite with them. You observe everything. How they speak about others tells you how they'll speak about you. How they treat people they don't need tells you their true character. How they react when things don't go their way tells you their emotional intelligence. How they speak when they think no one important is watching tells you who they really are. You are gathering intelligence. Every conversation is data. Every interaction is a window into their psychology. And while they believe they are reading you, you are 10 steps ahead, mapping every weakness, every pattern, every predictable move they are about to make. Sun Tzu said it. Machiavelli knew it. Every great strategist throughout history confirmed it. Know your enemy better than they know themselves. You don't need to announce this. You don't need to act differently. You simply watch, still, calm, patient, absorbing everything. You are building a map of their psychology. And when the time comes, you will navigate it like you built it because you did. Trick number 7, raise your value. Become indispensable. Here is a truth that most people never apply. The best revenge is not confrontation. The best revenge is elevation. When someone plays dirty with you, your instinct is to tear them down, to expose them, to make them pay publicly. And that instinct, while understandable, keeps you small. Because while you are focused on destroying them, you are not building yourself. The most devastating thing you can do to someone who underestimated you is become undeniable. Raise your value. Work harder than you've ever worked. Build skills they don't have. Create results they cannot ignore. Develop a reputation that speaks louder than any accusation they make. Make yourself indispensable in every room you enter. When your value is undeniable, their words become noise. Their manipulation becomes irrelevant. Their dirty games become small. Because power, real power, does not need to defend itself. It does not need to argue. It does not need to explain. Real power is simply visible. You walk into a room and people feel it. You make a decision and people follow it. You build something and people cannot ignore it. That is the move that destroys them completely. Not anger, not revenge, not exposure. Ascension. Rise so far above them that looking down at their games feels like watching children argue in a sandbox. Your elevation is their ultimate defeat. Trick number 8. Become strategically unpredictable. Predictability is a prison, and right now, you are living inside it. They know how you'll react. They know when you'll break. They know which buttons to press. They know how long it takes before you lose composure. And as long as they can predict you, they can control you. From this moment, you break every pattern. When they expect silence, you give a single calculated statement. When they expect emotion, you give cold logic. When they expect you to show up, you disappear. When they expect you to disappear, you appear. Not randomly, not chaotically, strategically. Every move you make is designed to break their mental model of who you are. Because here is what happens to a person who cannot predict you. They become obsessed with understanding you. They spend mental energy trying to figure out your next move. They start second-guessing their own strategy. They begin to fear making moves because they don't know how you'll respond. You have now occupied real estate inside their mind, rent-free. And while they are consumed by trying to read you, you have already made your next 3 moves. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Be both, unpredictable, powerful, strategic. A person they cannot track is a person they cannot defeat. Become impossible to predict, and you become impossible to destroy." Trick number 9. Build silent alliances. You have been fighting alone, and that is the most dangerous mistake a strategic man can make. Machiavelli said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men around him." Power is not built in isolation. Power is built through networks, not loud alliances, not public endorsements, not performances of friendship, silent alliances. The kind where people know, without you saying it, that you are someone worth standing beside. The kind built on mutual respect, on demonstrated value, on quiet trust, earned over time. While the person playing dirty is burning bridges, running their mouth, making enemies, creating chaos, you are doing the opposite. You are building quietly. You are investing in people who matter. You are becoming known, in rooms you've never even entered, as someone of substance. And when the battle comes, when the moment of confrontation arrives, you won't be standing alone. Not because you called anyone for help, but because the right people already know who you are. Your reputation, built quietly over time, becomes your most powerful weapon. Because a man with allies needs no threats. Because a man with alliances needs no aggression. He simply stands. And the forces around him move. Build in silence, build with intention, build strategically. And one day, when they come for you, they will realize they are not facing one man, they are facing an empire. Trick number 10, walk away, coldly. We have arrived at the final move, the most powerful move, the most misunderstood move, the move that most people are too afraid to make, but the move that ends every game, permanently. Walk away, not in anger, not in pain, not to prove a point, not because you lost, but because you have decided they are no longer worth your energy. This is the move that Machiavelli never wrote explicitly, but lived by completely. There comes a moment in every game of power when the most strategic thing you can do is remove yourself entirely from the board. Not retreat, not surrender, departure. There is a difference. Retreat is running away from a battle you fear. Departure is walking away from a battle that is beneath you. When you walk away coldly, you are communicating something with no words. You are not significant enough to fight, and there is no greater psychological devastation.
than being told by someone's silence and absence that you were never worth their war. Think about it. They wanted your anger. They wanted your tears. They wanted your desperation. They wanted to see you break. They planned for every reaction, except your disappearance. When you go cold, when you stop engaging, when you remove access to yourself completely, their entire strategy collapses. Because their power over you was never about what they did. It was about your reaction to what they did. Take away the reaction, and you take away their power. Take away access, and you take away their weapon. Walk away, delete the thread, remove the access, end the engagement, and don't look back, not once. Because champions don't look back at burning buildings they left behind. They walk forward, into fire of their own creation, toward a version of themselves that no one who played dirty will ever be worthy of reaching. You came into this video as someone who was being played. You finished this video as something different. You are no longer the man who reacts. You are the man who calculates. You are no longer the man who explains himself. You are the man who demonstrates himself. You are no longer the man who chases respect. You are the man respect chases. They tried to destabilize you, and instead, you became unshakable. They tried to make you small, and instead, you became sovereign. They tried to make you angry, and instead, you became cold. Cold like winter, slow like a glacier, unstoppable like gravity. The old version of you, the one that bled in silence, that chased people who left, that explained himself to people who had already decided. That version of you died today. What stands in its place is something forged, something hardened, something that cannot be manipulated, because it no longer needs anything from anyone. You are not the storm they expected. You are the storm they never saw coming. You are not the man they read. You are the man they couldn't read. You are not the player in their game anymore. You are the architect of your own. They played dirty. And you played smarter. If this video woke something up inside you, if you felt it, if you recognized yourself in these words, then you already know what you're becoming. Drop the word, sovereign, in the comments below. Not for me, for yourself, as a declaration, as a contract with the new version of you that was born today. Because the people who comment that word are not just viewers. They are the ones who chose to stop being played. They are the ones who chose strategy over emotion, power over reaction, silence over chaos. We are not the loudest, we are the most dangerous. If you want more, subscribe, turn on the bell, because the next video goes even deeper. And trust me, you are not ready for what's coming. But you will be. The world plays dirty, now you play smarter. This is just the beginning.